Hello everybody. So today we'll start with a new chapter in bio, that is the first chapter in case of human anatomy. Up till now we had already studied the botany part, that is the plant psychology, plant physiology and the plant connected things. Now we are going to start with the human anatomy. So basically the physiology of the human body, that are the different systems what we are having. So we'll be studying those systems one by one, and we'll understand those systems in this particular part. So we start with the first chapter, that is chapter number 8 of ICSE 10th standard bio from Concise biology textbook. So the chapter is circulatory system. Circulatory system can easily be, the name itself indicates that something which is circulating, something which is flowing is what we are talking about. Okay. Now, it is being seen that our body is made up of many organ systems. We have got the nervous system, the endocrine system, the digestive system, the skeletal system, the reproductive system. So there are different systems in our body, excretory system, yeah. So overall there is a lot of different kinds of systems in our body, and each and every system does its own part of the job. But the part of the job what it is doing is actually for the whole body. Like for example, when you talk about respiratory system, so the taking in of the air and giving out of the air, that is taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, is done by the respiratory system, that is the lungs and the nostrils and all. But is this particular oxygen used only by the lungs or only by the nostrils? No. It is being circulated to the complete body. Okay. So breathing process एक है, but उसका circulation means whatever respiration is being done is for the complete body. Similarly, we eat food. The food enters our mouth, then goes to the food path, and then goes into the stomach, and then to the intestine, and then what happens? Does it end over there? No. उसके बाद क्या होता है? Whatever absorbed nutrients which are there are going to be supplied to the whole body. Means digestive system ने अपना काम किया, but for whom? The complete body. So in this way you find that the body का अलग-अलग organ systems are going to do its different work, but it is eventually for the whole body. So when it is for the whole body, there needs to be one particular courier system. You know, we call it a courier, a postal system or a courier system, जो क्या करेगा, इधर का माल इधर डालेगा, इसका इधर लेके जाएगा, उधर से इधर लेके आएगा, इधर से उधर लेके जाएगा. So basically, whatever is the output generated by the different organ systems, that needs to be carried from that system to the different parts of the body. Are you getting this? हमारे बॉडी के जो ऑर्गन सिस्टम्स है, they are going to generate some or the other kind of the outputs. So the digestive system is going to give you the nutrients. Okay, the respiratory system is going to get hold of the oxygen from the air and come and take the carbon dioxide from the body and give it outside. So ये सभी में what is going to happen? There has to be one particular system or one particular kind of a mechanism by which the distribution of whatever is the outcome of the different organ systems is being taken care of by the complete body. तो वो complete body के लिए जो चाहिए, that is done by the circulatory system. So circulatory system को अगर simple terms में गिने, so in a layman term, what is circulatory system? It is the courier person of our body, कि हमारे body में जो चीज को इधर से manufacture करके इधर लेके गया, उधर का चीज इधर लेके आए, या यानी वो जो भी movement of the different nutrients or the different things what the body requires, that the different parts of the body requires, is going to be taken in from one place to another place by the circulatory system. So circulatory system is basically for transportation. The main and the most important function or this is transportation. So that's why let's see the chapter. So we see that need for transport inside the body. Now why is that? What is needed? Why is it so that we need this circulatory system? Chahiye kyun? Okay, so let's see why the transport is required. Every organ in our body requires the involvement of circulating body fluids. For example, the digestive system digests and absorbs nutrients which are needed to be transported to every cell of the body. Right? So digestive system का जो output है, that is the nutrients need to be supplied to the each and every part of the body. Brain से लेकर toe तक. Okay? पूरे के पूरे बॉडी को हर एक पार्ट्स को न्यूट्रिएंट्स चाहिए. ईच एंड एवरी सेल रिक्वायर न्यूट्रिएंट्स फॉर इट्स ग्रोथ, डेवलपमेंट, रिप्रोडक्शन, रिपेयर, रिप्लेसमेंट. पर वो जो उसको चाहिए दैट इज गोइंग टू बी गिवन टू इट बाय सम काइंड ऑफ अ ट्रांसपोर्ट मैकेनिज्म. Second is the respiratory system draws in air and the oxygen picked up from in the lungs has to be transported to all parts of the body. Similarly, the carbon dioxide collected from the entire body has to be carried to the lungs to be exhaled out of the body. So yes, you can see oxygen लेने का काम करना है, transport करेगा. Carbon dioxide from the different parts of the body to collect it and bring it outside. Again, it is the transport is required. So that is done by the circulatory system. All extra water, excess salts and nitrogenous waste such as urea has to be removed from the different parts of the body and have to be sent to the excretory system to be thrown out of the body. So yes, whatever our body is generating, our body keeps on generating. Whenever there is some kind of a thing done, it generates some kind of nitrogenous waste. It has got excess of salts in it. It has excess of water in it. All those excess unwanted stuff which is present in the different parts of the body gets collected and needs to be excreted out by the kidney. That is nothing but the excretory system. So that is the third transport mechanism required, that is for excretion. Third is hormones. Yes, the hormone, that is the chemical coordination, that is we require certain kind of enzymes to do certain kind of metabolic and non-metabolic activities. So these enzymes which are going to be generated, they will be generated by endocrine glands and they need to be circulated to the target organs. That is also the requirement for the transport. So hormones secreted by the endocrine system have to be carried throughout the body by the circulating blood to act wherever required, and so on. So you can see that there are main four functions what they have mentioned over here, where first one of transportation of nutrients, second one is the transportation of oxygen, carbon dioxide in and out of the body, third one is the transportation of the extra or the excess material, that is the waste, excretion of the waste, that is the third point, and the final point, fourth one, is the hormones ka distribution. The distribution of the hormones within the body requires the transport mechanism. So all such functions that need transport are performed by the circulatory fluids, the blood and the lymph. So you can see that the circulatory system has got the first one. So first thing, what is the need is the digestive system requires it. The second one is the respiratory system requires it. The third one is the excretory system requires it. The fourth one is the endocrine will be requiring it. And all these functions over here, these are just as example. There are plenty of other things also, but the basic ones which could be easily understood by you are these four ones, and they all are going to be taken care in by the blood and lymph. So blood and the lymph are the two circulatory fluids of our body. These two circulatory fluids of our body help us to transport these substances into the body, within the body. So we see there are three kinds of fluids in our body. Okay, so the circulatory system will be consisting, or we can say that the fluids which are going to flow in our body are of three different kinds. The first one, there are three principal fluids in our body: blood contained in the heart and the blood vessels, arteries, veins and capillaries of the circulatory system. So the first one is the blood. Yeah, the blood is the first one that is going to be taking care of the principle, that is one of the most important, vital, main part of the circulatory system. Second one is the tissue fluid occupying space between the cells and in the organs. So whatever the cells will be, which are there between the cells and between the organs, what in the all cells in the organs, there will be the spaces. That spaces are not empty space, they are filled with fluid, and this fluid which is filled over there is called as the tissue fluid. So tissue fluid is the one. Now normally I have not written over here the tissue fluid because these are the two ones which are going to flow, whereas we can see that tissue fluid is something which is not going to flow as such. There is no movement, they are just filled over there, but there is no much of a movement. That's why yeah, anyway, but it is a fluid which is present in the body. Lymph, which is contained within the lymph vessels and lymphatic organs such as the spleen and the tonsils. So the last one, wherever the blood cannot reach, those places where the blood cannot reach directly, there it is going to be done. The process of the transportation of the nutrients and all the different kind of substances required by the body is going to be done with the help of lymph, which is done by the lymphatic organs, the spleen and the tonsils. The above three principal fluid in our body are respectively described in section 8.3, blood and the tissue fluid and lymph, in 8.9. So that is what they are given later on. So now a figure shows the diagrammatic representation of relationship between blood, tissue fluid and lymph as they circulate in their respective vessels or spaces between the cells in different organs. It is clear from the diagram that blood in our body circulates in a closed manner. So you can see this figure over here. So this is a figure they are given over here, that the blood is going to flow in a closed manner. So it was being seen that if I okay, so if I see the condition, it is this way, that the lungs are over here. These are the lungs. And then there is this particular chamber which is the of the heart. So this is the heart. Now there was going to be such a way that the blood is going to go like this. So as they are given over here, I'll just mention it in the same manner. So this is the way the blood is going to travel from the body into the heart and from the heart into the lungs. So this is, we can call it as a deoxygenated blood. We'll discuss this thing later on when we study the complete part, but just for the certain sake of it right now, just a simple way to understand it. So from the lungs, the oxygen is going to reach into the blood and then goes to the heart, and from the heart it goes to the different parts of the body wherein it splits and it is going to form into capillaries like this. So there will be capillaries like this, and these capillaries are going to give rise to so the blood is going to go like this. So from the heart to the body, from the body to the heart, then goes to the lungs for cleaning purpose, and then from the lungs back to the heart again. So in between there will be certain kind of an outlet from which there will be the what we call it as the lymph. So the lymph is going to be here. So these are the lymph capillaries. So these are lymph capillaries. These are the capillaries, blood capillaries. This is the artery. This is the vein. Okay. So these are the lymph vessels, which is going to have some lymph nodes over here. So these are the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes, and these are the lymph. So this is the lymph vessel. So the lymph vessel is a part and parcel from the arteries and veins. So it is going to be coming out from that particular part and flowing to the different parts of the body. So you can see that here the deoxygenated blood goes from here to here, and from here the deoxygenated blood comes from here and goes to the heart, from the heart to the different parts of the body where the oxygen is going to be used up, and then deoxygenated blood or carbon dioxide rich blood is going to come over here, go to the heart, and from the heart goes to the lungs for cleaning purpose, where respiration takes place, or we can say the exchange of the gases takes place, and then it comes back to the heart for pumping it back to the different parts of the body. So this is how the circulatory system. So you can see that the blood one is a closed one. See, lymph is not closed, it is open because it goes somewhere. So here it is a closed circulating system. So it is seen that Yeah, there. The relation between blood, tissue and lymph as they circulate in the respective vessels or spaces between the cells in different organs. It is clear from the diagram that blood in our body circulates in closed manner, that is all the time through blood vessels. Such a type of circulatory blood circulation is called as a closed blood circulatory system. So in our body it's a closed blood circulatory system. That means our body will never have any open area where the blood is just being spread out in that whole area. It is never going to be that way. Your blood is always in vessels. The blood is always traveling in vessels. That's why it is coming back to the same place again. So you can see from heart to the body, body to the heart, heart to the body, body to heart, heart from lungs, lungs to heart, hearts to lung. ऐसे करके वो circulate अंदर ही हो रहा है. That means it's a closed circulatory system. So in our body, the human body has got a closed blood circulatory system. As against this, in certain animals like an insect, the blood mostly flows through open spaces in the body called as open blood circulatory system. Their blood flows from the heart of the body spaces without vessels. So heart is going to bring it and send it again, but it is not going to collect it back. So that's why it is going to be an open circulatory system in case of small animals, or we can say insects. And apart from that, we do have certain fluids which are non-circulating. So ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे body में जितना भी fluid है, all are circulating type. No, there are certain fluids in our body which are non-circulating because they have got a different function, mainly lubrication. So there are non-circulating fluids. There are also some other fluids located in particular organs, such as synovial fluid, which is the cavity of the skeletal joints, vitreous humor in the eye, etc. They do not circulate. So there are many fluids. In fact, the pericardial fluid in the lungs, the brain के अंदर cerebrospinal fluid. So there are so many different fluids which are there in our body which do not flow, and their main reason is they are there for protection or shock absorbency. That's why these fluids are the ones which are never going to flow. So ऐसा नहीं है कि and hence they do not come under the category of circulatory system because they are there for different purposes. The synovial fluid which we studied last year in case of skeleton, केस जो नी जॉइंट है, नी जॉइंट के वहाँ पे तो नी के दो between the femur and the tibia fibia there is the kind of a fluid which is called as the synovial fluid. And this in fact all the joints contain synovial fluid. That's why they are called as synovial joints. Now we start about the functions of the different kind of the circulatory parts. That is now we start with the blood. So we see the first one, that is the blood. So let's see the blood. Never stationary. Yes, blood is never stationary. It is continuously in motion. It is never ever stationary. Blood is always in motion from the heart to the arteries and back through the veins. Color. The color is somewhat thick fluid, bright red when taken from artery, or dark red when taken from the vein. So unfortunately I just erased this figure, but you can see that when I drew it, I showed that one side was a red color and otherwise was a blue color. So the red color was there indicating that the blood contains more amount of oxygen, and the blue color indicating that it contains a higher percentage of carbon dioxide. But that doesn't mean that the blood is going to become blue. The blue color is just an indication to show something. As such, wherever you cut have a cut or anything, the blood which is going to be oozing out from the body will be of red color only. The shade of the color may vary. It may be from lighter, brighter red to a darker red, but it will be red in color only. You can never ever have a person having the color of the blood other than red. There will be no person who can have a color other than red. So red, it will be only red in color. Only thing is that it will be darker in case of the veins, which contains more amount of carbon dioxide, whereas it will be slightly brighter in case of arteries, which contains oxygen in them. So conventionally the diagram we show the veins in blue. This is just for contrast. The blood vessels inside, blood inside the vein is not blue, it is actually dark red. Now let's see volume of the blood. We have got 6 liters of blood in our body. The total body, our complete body contains 6 liters. Okay, so an average human adult human contains 5 to 6 liters of blood by volume in his body. Taste salty, perhaps it has, we all tasted our blood, as in the case when there is a cut in the tongue or bleeding from the gums. Yes, we must have किसी का कभी कभी यहाँ पे कट हो जाए तो भी हम लोग ऐसा ये करते हैं, बट अदरवाइज वहाँ से नहीं, किसी को वो नहीं करना अच्छा भी लगता रहे. In that case also there is always some cut on the tongue or some cut inside the jaw area. Anyway, the gums are bleeding, so definitely there cannot be any person who are not tasted his blood at all. It's not possible. Only thing is that he may not be aware about it, that okay, blood was being tasted, but yeah, we definitely will be a conditioning, because all of you have gone through the process wherein the milk teeth are just going to get worn out, and it's going to be fall off and the new will come. So when the milk teeth drops out, at that time also there is definitely blood coming out. So you all have already tasted the blood, and yes, it is slightly saltish in taste, and so the blood is slightly alkaline with a pH value of 7.3 to 7.45. 7 is actually neutral, which we understood in chemistry. So 7 is neutral, but this is 7.3 or 7.45. So it is slightly alkaline in the nature, not acidic, but slightly alkaline in nature. So that is about the pH value or the taste of the blood. Now we talk about the functions. The main function of the blood in our body can be treated under 2 broad headings: transport and protection. Yes, the main thing is we are going to see 2 main important functions of the blood. One is transport. Yes, as we understood that last time, initial of the video, that transport करना है यहाँ से वहाँ सभी organ system के interconnection के लिए. And other one is protection, which we are not done up till now. So we will understand both of them one by one. Transport by blood. Transport of the digested food, oxygen, carbon dioxide, excretory substances, hormones, body heat, etc. So first one is transport of digested food. Yes. From the alimentary canal to the tissues, these substances are simple sugars like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, mineral salts, etc. So yes, it needs to travel to transport the digested food के अंदर के जो भी parts है, minerals है, जो भी है, उसको transport करने के लिए blood is going to be the main one. Medium. Transport of oxygen, yes, respiratory system. So from the lungs to the tissue, it occurs by means of red blood cells in combination with hemoglobin in the form of an unstable compound, oxyhemoglobin, which on reaching the tissue break up to deliver oxygen. So that's why we see that our body contains, the blood contains a pigment in the red blood cells called as hemoglobin, which we'll be discussing in later part. So hemoglobin is the one which is able to combine easily with the oxygen. So the oxygen carrier in our blood is hemoglobin, which is a part and parcel of red blood cells. So the red blood cells contains hemoglobin, which is going to attract, or which is going to carry the oxygen to the different parts of the body, and in turn, after giving out oxygen, it can also take in carbon dioxide and take it back to the heart or to the lungs for discarding the carbon dioxide from the body. So that's why it is going to give you, first of all, an unstable compound, oxyhemoglobin. So when the oxygen is entering into the hemoglobin, it becomes oxyhemoglobin, which is delivered to the different parts of the body, and in turn, transport of carbon dioxide, that is from the tissue to the lungs, it occurs partly in combination with hemoglobin and partly as solution in blood plasma. So here in the blood plasma, or that is inside the hemoglobin and the blood plasma, the carbon dioxide is going to be collected from the different parts of the body, and the hemoglobin, then it becomes carb-aminohemoglobin. So carb-aminohemoglobin is the hemoglobin which has got carbon dioxide along with it. Next is transport of excretory material. from the tissue to the liver, kidney or the skin, or eliminate or to render them harmless. So yes, we require the transport of the excretory material. The excretory material needs to go from one place to another place. So the excretory, the whatever is there, the transport of the excretory material is going to be taking place by the blood from, and that excretion could be from the liver or from the kidney or the skin. Yeah, it could be from any different parts of the body which can be used as an excretory product, or we can say those who can generate the excretory material and is capable of discarding those excretory material. Distribution of hormones secreted by special glands, that is endocrine glands, directly into the blood. So yes, we will learn this in detail when we study the endocrine system. So endocrine glands, yeah, distribution of the hormones. So the hormones are going to be generated by the different parts of the different endocrine glands, and these hormones need to be transported from the gland to the area or to target organ which is going to show its effect, and that particular target organ के लिए जो transport media है of the hormone is nothing but the blood. And finally, distribution of heat. The blood helps in keeping the temperature of the body uniform by distributing the heat. Yeah, your blood sees to it that the temperature of the complete body is maintained at 37 degrees Celsius. So this maintenance of the temperature is going to be done with the help of the blood. So wherever it is required, it will flow. It will increase the flow so that it could increase the or decrease the sweating which is possible, and removal of the excess of water is taking place. It's जिसके कारण cooling effect हो. So there are many ways in which we had learned this in the skin chapter last year, that how vasoconstriction and vasodilation takes place, and accordingly your body is monitoring the temperature. So this, what is vasoconstriction and vasodilation? It is nothing but the expansion contraction of the arteries and the veins which is present in the just under the skin, so that the blood flow is going to increase or decrease so as to maintain the temperature of the body. So that was about heat distribution, and that was the 6 different kinds of the uses of the blood or for transportation. So that was the function of blood for transportation. Now we see the protection by blood. So now we see that how the blood is helping us to protect ourselves. Now blood forms a clot whenever there is a cut in the blood vessel. The clot serves to prevent further loss of blood, the entry of disease causing germs. So yes, the main thing is that blood has got a self-defending mechanism by which it will stop the excess flow out of the blood from our body. If I got a cut, and if that cut is going to remain open, there are 2 cases. First thing is that I'll lose a lot of amount of blood, right, which will be very harmful for me. It will be fatal also. Secondly, this open area would be also an entry path for the germs to enter, right? So this way, for stopping both these things, the blood has got a clotting compound. The clotting compound, what it does is that it will just ooze out over there a bit and then cause a kind of a coating over there, which will not allow further blood to ooze out. So clotting is going to prevent the excess flow of the blood outside the body. So further loss of the blood, and also because it closes that area entry, so it does not allow the germs and disease to enter our body. Secondly, we know very well, we have studied in the earlier lecture, this one also standards, that it's WBC, white blood corpuscles, protect the body from diseases by engulfing bacteria which may have entered the body. So if there are any kind of a bacteria entering into our body, then the WBC, white blood cells, white blood corpuscles, are going to be our soldiers who are going to fight against these bad bacteria and disease entering in our body by engulfing the bacteria. They will be engulfing the bacteria, usko pakad lega aur usko render harmless. That what we studied last year in the H2 Health chapter about vaccination. Yeah, it's the same thing. What is happening? That is nothing but the WBC doing those functions. And finally, it produces antitoxins and antibodies. Yes, that is what I was talking about the vaccination, H2 Health chapter of 9th standard, that antitoxins and antibodies. So they are the one, remember that the method by which the body, recipe book मैंने तुम लोगों को बताया था कि वो जिसके कारण वो अपना किसी भी insect को मारने के लिए और the disease को मारने के लिए, the immunity will be such that it is going to produce the antibody against those. So that is exactly what we are seeing. That produces antitoxin antibodies which neutralize the poisonous substance or kills the germs which enter the body. So in this way it is protecting the body from external germs, diseases. So the WBC main work, the main work of the WBC, so first one was about the platelets which are going to do the work of clotting, and then the WBC which is going to fight against the diseases, fight against the germs, fight against germs which has entered into the body or does not allow certain things to enter your body. So in this way the protection is given by the blood. So this was about the functions of the blood. Now we see about the composition of the blood, but in the next video.